Today he carries on. Let's listen in.
We have been sharing on how to resolve conflicts. You know, one of the most important things in life is relationships. If you are not able to build successful relationships, ultimately you will be a failure. So we started looking at keys in the Bible that will help us to build harmonious relationships, so that when you are working in an office, you'll be able to work with people and be productive. If you are married, you'll be able to build a good marriage and be able to enjoy your relationship with your wife and with your kids when everybody around you, and also your relationship with God. So what are these keys? So the first key is the key of initiative. The key of initiative. In other words, when there is a conflict, most of the time it's not resolved because nobody is willing to take the initiative to make peace. When you take the initiative, you'll be able to resolve conflict, because most of the time the husband is waiting for the wife to apologize. The wife is waiting for the husband to apologize, vice versa, and then the conflict still remains. Number two, dialogue is very important. In Matthew 18:15, Jesus said, "Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against you, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he will hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, take with thee one or two more. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. And if he neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. And if he neglect to tell the church, let him be unto thee as a hidden man or a publican." That's verse 17. So here Jesus talks about dialogue, and it says dialogue is important to resolve conflicts. The reason is that, sometimes you may have misunderstood something. Sometimes you may not have the full information. So dialogue helps you to put all the information together, because you cannot make a good decision based on poor information. The third one is forgiveness. Forgiveness. In Matthew 18:21, Peter asked Jesus a question. "How many times shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him?" Jesus said unto him, "Until 70 times 7. In other words, one thing that can help to resolve conflicts is forgiveness. Number 4, I said to be able to resolve conflicts, you must be selfless. Selfless. Philippians chapter 2 verse 3, it says, "Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory." In other words, don't do anything through strife or quarrels or conflict or vainglory or pride. But in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than themselves. Then verse 4 says, "Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others." In other words, don't be selfish. Sometimes you talk to married people and realize that even when it comes to vision, there is great confusion and fights. Why? Because the husband wants to go this way and the wife wants to go this way. But let me tell you something. When you are working with somebody, you will have to compromise. It cannot be all your way. It cannot also be all her way. That's why sometimes compromise comes in. It's important. It's important to compromise. Number 5 is humility. Humility. The Bible says, "Only by pride cometh contention, but with the lowly is wisdom." So here the Bible says that the main cause of strife and conflict is pride. In other words, if you decide to be humble, a lot of conflicts can be resolved. Sometimes it's very funny. You can meet married people and they are not talking. There is a cold war in the house. Nobody wants to apologize. Nobody wants to approach the other partner. We are watching to see who will give in first. Now, all you need is, you just need one humble person to say, "It doesn't matter. I'm going to resolve it. It doesn't matter if it's my fault or it's her fault or his fault. I'm going to humble myself and make sure that this conflict is resolved." So you always need one humble person. And once you have that humble person, I tell you, conflict will not have a place to sit. Jesus was very humble. When the thief on the cross was insulting him, he said nothing. He could have picked up a fight with him, but rather he said, Father, forgive them. Very humble man. So because of that, he avoided